Hello everyone, another Klaus here, and today guys I'm gonna review an Exo-Force set released in 2007, and it's going to be the Sky Guardian. So of course a good middle-sized mecha piloted by Hikaru. Of course for the box itself, well, you're gonna have the Lego Exo-Force logo on the top, the golden border on the side, and of course a drawn picture of Hikaru right there on this corner, on the top corner. And well, for the most part, of course, we're gonna have not really a picture, but of course the model itself, the Sky Guardian. And of course in the background you're gonna have the Golden City, which is where the action takes place in 2007, well, in the storyline, in the 2007 storyline. And well, that's quite all. Of course, you still got the little shiny effect, as you can see, which look pretty nice, and that's quite all. There is no more little lid to open on the on the front of the box, unlike the 2006 boxes. So that's all for the front part. Now the top one, as you can see, you have a 1:1 scale picture of the Hikaru minifig. Of course, you're gonna see that later on in the review. Then for the back part, where you're gonna have a little group shot featuring all the sets released in the first wave, so the 2 little one and the 4th middle-sized one. Then you're gonna have a little part of the comic, and finally some gimmicks showing you the model itself, which can fire some Zama ball, but we're gonna see that later on, and the 2 different faces you got with the 1 unique minifig head. So that's all for the box. Still pretty nice, of course not as interesting as the 2006 boxes, but still it's managed to do the job. Now for the instruction booklet, so nothing really interesting right there. Of course we're gonna begin to build the minifigs and the set itself in, I guess, 22 steps, and not counting the sub steps, of course. Once again, you're gonna have to put the stickers all throughout the model, the building, and not just at the end. A little picture showing you that you're not supposed to fire on your friends, preferably not on their head. Then you're gonna have a little parts list and the comic itself, which is in fact the same comic for the 4 released sets, but this comic in fact is kind of longer and also featured all the 4 sets. So that's why they just choose 1 comic for all the 4 sets, and while making one which featured all the 4 middle-sized mechas released in the first wave. So yes, by the way, some ads, and then the same group shot as featured on the back of the box. Now for the set itself, with first of all, of course, the Takeshi minifigure. So of course the head and the hairstyle is the same as 2006. So for those who don't know, it got 2 faces. So one which is kind of like an okay face, and the other one which is an angry one, so not really that happy. Of course the hair part is quite rubbery, and also notice a little detail because this one has some glasses. So for those who don't know, some glasses I don't really know. So for those who don't know the original minifig, well, here how it looks, and well, for the head itself at least. And now, what is different from 2006 is the body, of course, with a different armor and a different color scheme. So this time we're gonna use some dark blue and some gold color instead of just the blue and white. So really nice and really shiny, and well, it's really classy. I really like this one. I really think that the dark blue is quite cool, plus the black gloves. So seriously, it's really a cool minifig, and of course the articulations, well, it's the same for all the Lego minifigs, so nothing really interesting right there. Now for the mecha itself, we're gonna begin with this type of frame, which is the same we have already seen in the Blade Titan mech I have already reviewed. So by the way, this means we're gonna have this part holding the legs, then some plates and bricks, then this new type of parts, which in fact kind of mix 2 types of connections. So this means the studs from the Lego system and the connector from the ball joint socket, because it's whatever you want, or the ball joint socket from the Bionicle toy line. So mix between the 2, and of course this part will be useful to link the arms. Also notice this little light gray part, which will be useful to link the cockpit. And finally you got this technique this brick with some technique pinholes, which will be useful to link the shoulder part, or the top part of there's kind of the roof part of the mecha. So that said, we're gonna link first these tan and white parts, which are of course parts linked together, because these parts have some studs, well, some not with studs, but some holes right there for the studs, and here's the same. So we're gonna link that this way. Notice this little part, because we're gonna now link the glass, yes, right there. So front glass for the cockpit. Notice once again the little sticker, which is really well detailed and really add to the overall model. That's done. We're gonna link now one of the interesting part of 2007 is the cockpit part, which is more detailed. This means we're gonna have some side parts which can be closed and open, and well, that's one of them. So this is the left, the right side. Yes, it's the right side. As you can see, we're gonna have some jet reactor right there, which is pretty nice. Once again, some stickerette part. The brick code right there, which was useful to enter on the website at the time it was released, of course. Some slop bricks. Notice the little yellow transparent part. And well, this light gray part, as you can see, with some connectors, well, some points of connection. That's what we're gonna link right here. So that said, we're gonna link the second one, which is in fact exactly the same, except for the code brick, which here is replaced with some grid parts, as you can see, but it's overall exactly the same, yes. And well, we are done for the cockpit, but not for the body, because now we're gonna link, this section, which is made with a Technic beam, to well, I'm gonna call this some system panels part, as you can see, a very long one, and then some Technic parts which will be useful to make some rocket launchers. Of course, these parts are not Technic, they're still ones, but well, most of the building implies using some nickel or Technic parts. So we're gonna link that on the top part, and well, we are done with the body. Now we're going to talk about the legs, which are, well, kind of like all the other legs from the Exo-Force storyline. This means we're going to use the 3 dark gray parts to link to make the legs and also make the articulations worse. So we have these 3 parts, and now of course we're going to cover them with some white parts, because yes, the color scheme for this model is mostly white, dark blue, yellow, and also and of course the usual dark gray and black, plus some touches of silver color. So we have first this curved part right there, as you can see. So once again, this part is I think 90% of the time it's used to cover this part, so see nothing really new right there. Then we're gonna have this section, which is quite more interesting, because we're gonna use some slop bricks. But as you can see, if you compare with the steel fronter, as you can see, these sloped bricks were really, I think, kind of prettier, because they also cover the side, as you can see. And here it's not the case, because this part does not cover the side, because as you can see on the side is just well, it's a direct angle. Well, excuse me, but as you can see, it's not a smooth shape. So yes, by the way, we don't have smooth shape with this brick, but we have 2 jet reactors on the sides, 2 rear ones, plus a little, plus a silver hose pipe right there. So that said, we're gonna now talk about the feet, well, which is quite simple, because it's made, well, the foot here is made with just one big white part, one big blue part, which is in fact the same as the white one, and some sloped bricks on the side. So see, nothing really interesting for the legs. We're gonna link like that. The second leg is of course exactly the same, except for the stickers right there. Once again, notice the little Ikaru logo in gold, which is really nice. And now we have these sections. Now the last part is of course the arms. So first of all, the left one, the white one, excuse me, the white one. So the white one, as you can see, is mainly made of bionicle parts. This means we're going to use what we call a metal pelvis part, so which is mostly used for bionicle, of course, with 2 ball joints. That's the only thing to really know about this part. We're going to now link some also system panel here, which is the same as we used previously, and then some little rockets linked there, so nothing really exceptional. Now for the end, you're going to use a connector, then a Zama launcher, as you can see. So a Zama launcher is once again a part directly used from bionicle. So seriously, apart from this part, there is absolutely nothing different from a normal Zama launcher. So how it works is very simple. You're gonna put this ball right there and then fire this part thanks to the flexible axle. Oh, excuse me, like that. So that's done. Well, I'm gonna just link this part, and well, that's all. So there's nothing really more. But the left arm is more interesting because even if you accept this part, which is the same as the right one, well, this part right here, the arms and the end is different because we're gonna use this part that we have already seen, before on the shoulder part. Then some slope curve part right there. Some articulated fingers made with some bot arms, as you can see, so it's quite common now in the Exo-Force storyline, but it still works pretty well. And finally, we're gonna link this exclusive part, a new type of energetic sword, which looks pretty nice, and I think it's unique to this set. Also notice that this part is a sticker, so in fact, really the only printed part in this set is the code brick, except that all the other parts are stickered. So we're gonna link that, of course, to the ball joint. And well, we are done. So first of all, a little size comparison between the minifig and the mecha. As you can see, it's still pretty big, so quite nice. Now we're gonna link the little guy in there, do a little turnaround of the model, and talk about the articulations. That's done, yes. So now the articulations. First of all, the legs. So the legs are made with 3 points of articulations. Each of these points of articulations are made with 2 points of rotations. This means that you can turn this part like that, and also like that. And it's the same for this one, which can be turned, as you can see, up to 90 degrees, but also on the sides. And once again, it's the same for the foot. So 2 points of rotations, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 there. So I think that's pretty explicit how it works. Once again, it's the same as all the Exo-Force sets, so right, nothing really new. Now for the arms, well, this is different because here you got 2 ball joints, as you can see. This means you can do some interesting pose. Of course, I cannot really show you all the poses you can make with 2 ball joints, but if you play with it, if you play around with it, you will see that it's pretty poseable. Then the specific part for this arm is, of course, the Zama launcher, which can be fired. Well, the little ball can be fired. Also, you can notice that you got 2 points of rotations per panel, so one here and on the sides. The second arm is, of course, quite the same, except that this time you got 4 articulated fingers, each one with 1 point of rotation. This means you can open the end or stuff like that if you want, so works pretty well. And now we have of course the middle part. So you got the cockpit part, which is quite interesting because the glass can open, and so can do the sides, the sides part, which can be opened like that, and it works just nice. And then you got, of course, the panels, which once again got 2 points of rotation, and also this one, which got once again 2 points of rotation. So of course it's quite, it's not really incredible or anything like that, but still, you can really pose your model the way you want. And I think that's also, well, talking about poses, I'm gonna do a pose and do a little sum up about this set. So first of all, the color scheme. So as I said, the color scheme is mostly dark blue, white, and yeah, like that. The color scheme is mostly dark blue, white, and yellow, plus of course the usual dark gray and black. I have to say that seriously it works pretty well, even if of course it's a matter of taste, but I think that all the colors are well mixed together. It's all, it's look pretty good. I think they are really all well put on the model, and well, so still it's a good color scheme, and I really like the, well, you got this little contrast between, of course, the dark color and the bright color. Here it's between, of course, the dark blue and the white, plus also the yellow, which really adds to the mix. So once again, a good color scheme. And once again, of course, as you can see, we're gonna have the white as one of the main colors. So that's really an important point to know for the 2007 Exo-Force storyline. So yes, now for the parts selection, I guess. So yes, the part selection is okay. I mean, you of course you got this system panels part. You also got this exclusive sword, some jet reactor, of course, but apart from that, it's mostly barnacle parts, which are not really that rare or anything like that. So seriously, it's okay. It's yes, it's passable. It's not really exceptional. It's not really good, in fact, but it's okay. Now for the building, so the building is pretty straightforward. Of course, you once again got many barnacle parts. This means while you don't really have to build with system parts, so of course it's simpler, but still you have some interesting parts, like for example the cockpit, which is really quite interesting to build, and some little elements like that, but once again it's not really that interesting to build. I think you got maybe better designs out there in 2007 which use the same type of parts, but it is seriously mostly barnacle parts. In terms of well, the build itself, if it is weak or not, well, I have to say that no, it's pretty strong. Of course, there is no parts which just fell off or stuff like that. No, it's all good. All the parts are really put together in a good way, so well, it works just nice. Now the articulations, as you have seen, the articulations work just fine. Maybe the tubal joints sometimes are a little problem, but I think that most of the time it's really good. So no problems on the articulations parts. And finally, you got the design section. Well, and on this point, it's really a matter of point of view. In fact, I cannot really be objective, but seriously, I like this design because, well, it's got some interesting, it's a good take on the aerial design, because this times, well, you got all the 4 wings, many reactors, stuff like that, so it works pretty nice, but some people will say that it's not as, of course, it's not as dynamic as it, well, in fact, it doesn't have the same aerial feeling that the first Steel Hunters get. In fact, it's quite different. So, excuse me, I just lost track of what I said, but of what I talk about. But well, the design on this set is really a matter of point of view, because seriously, I think it's pretty good, as there is some aspects which are pretty nice, like the panels part and stuff like that, but there is also some other parts which are not really that interesting. For example, this gun, which is in fact a barnacle piece, so nothing really interesting. The legs also, as you can see, this part right there can be a little problem, even if personally I like this type of design, it can be a problem, plus the barnacle parts and stuff like that. So I think that I like it for what it is, but it might not please everyone. So now I'm gonna do some comparison shots, and the review will be done. So first of all, a little one with the Rio model, just to show you the difference between a little sized mech and a middle sized one, even if of course this one here is bended, but well, I think you can see the proportions and stuff like that. Then a little comparison, a little more interesting between, well, the two Icarus models. So, well, the first one released in 2006 and this one released in 2007. So, as you can see, this one is a lot more slim. In fact, it's really slim in comparison to this one. It's really more thin, as you can see. It's got wings and stuff like that. Little fins on the side, so it's really got a more aerial light design in comparison to this one, which really look bulkier, as you can see. And well, it's look bulkier, which is quite strange, is that if you compare it to what it's supposed to be the ground model, so the Takeshi Mecha, as you can see, this one might seem bulkier than the ground model, the ground model, which I think is supposed to be the stronger one, but as you can see here, the two of them are really bulky and well. So that's really a special type of design. Some people might like it and some might not really like it because, well, it's really use more technique and mechanical parts and stuff like that. It's simpler than the previous models, but it's even if the parts are put in a more efficient way, but still, well, so it's a matter of point of view, so I'm gonna stop repeat myself. And that's also, I hope this review might give you some, have helped you to have some opinion on this set. So feel free to buy it or not if you like it or not. And I think that's all. So hope you enjoy this review. Hope you enjoy this set. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. The same goes for the comments, of course. And well, that's all. So once again, excuse me for my English accent, and well, see you later for another Lego or even Mega Bloks video review. Bye bye.